episode is sponsored by Teamhood, a modern project management system.
Hello everyone, again Agile Day Kaunas 2023. Busy day, almost at the end of the day, and we have one more nice guest. Maybe you can introduce yourself.
Sure, I'll be happy to do so. Well, my name is Anna Strinadko. I represent an Agile company. I'm a dedicated Scrum Master, and I started my journey in Agile coaching recently. So I'm really passionate about facilitation and everything that goes around this. That's why I'm pretty happy to be here. Finally, the live event after the pandemic and remote works. And it's so great to meet people in person and have these interactions. Plus, the workshops itself are pretty cool, and with all these games tools, and something that you can use on a daily basis with your teams.
Yeah. So is it the first time which you now joining Agile Day Kaunas?
Yeah. Yes, you're right. It is the first time in Kaunas because I live here not long enough. It's just slightly less than a year, but the community appeared to be awesome. I've made some connections, and they're very promising in terms of further cooperation. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think again that's one of the biggest benefits of these kind of type of open space conferences. It's networking connections where you can, have chat here, but at the same time you exchanging your credentials, and you after the conference you're keeping the discussions and the sharings, which really valuable actually. So yeah, I think you already mentioned that it was really cool, but maybe just again a few more words about this year, how you see it, 2 tracks of workshop, three tracks of open space. Is it too much, not too much? Your opinion.
Yeah, well, for me, the day appeared to be pretty intense because I've joined 3 workshops and an open space conversation, and now we're here with you. And so for one day, it's pretty fully packed, but it should be that way. And this is the major outcome because it's just the one day, and you want to get as much as possible for it. So of course, there's certain tiredness right now, but it's a good one. It's you feeling like your brain is growing and, and your heart is filling with joy. So.
And you mentioned that you managed to even participate in 3 different workshops. Maybe which one was the one which actually you felt that, oh, that's actually really the best one, like really the one which you would recommend to others?
It's hard to choose. It's hard to choose. It's hard to choose. Probably the most memorable one, the one that Zirian did, because we went outside and it was complete changing of the setup, and it's another idea itself, how you can work with your team, because you shouldn't be really stuck in the Zoom or in the conference room. You can always go outside and still have some dynamics here. And it changes the dynamics itself because it's outside, it's sun, it's wind, it's another complexities here. And the content itself was pretty amazing. He showed us a lot of things and helped us to reflect and gather insights ourselves. And this is the most valuable part, not someone telling you this is what you should learn, but when you learn from doing. So probably, yeah, that's the most memorable
We can
one.
mention that actually it was not planned. It was just something from the spot where after the lunch, which we just did a bit of photo shooting outside of, then it's weather's really great today, and then he just mentioned, oh look, we can go back and close ourselves under these 4 walls, or we can stay here. And I think it was again really unexpected, but at the same time it gave this nice feeling that you don't need to follow the plan again. You can adopt the changes, and these small details memorable. So again, even your team think about these kind of things. It's really cool.
I agree with you.
Yeah. At the same time, you mentioned that you joined the open space, and how was the open space? All of the setup of that?
It's a new experience for me because for a very long time we were locked down and you didn't have a chance to pitch your ideas to someone else and stand up in front of the public. So I was a bit nervous. I had my idea, I wanted to pitch it and collect some feedback about it. So the first thing to make this first step was pretty challenging. I was nervous, maybe a little bit shaking. But at the end, the community is very supportive. And after this first step, everything goes pretty smooth and well. And yeah, eventually I've had to run away from from the last part of the workshop to attend it because of the pretty packed agenda. But I was surprised and grateful to people who stayed there extra minutes waiting for me to come. And we eventually had a very marvelous conversation. We shared a lot of ideas together, and this is the communities for. So you can find advice and share your ideas and be helpful and get help in exchange.
So we can again mention that in open space, at least this year, we had, the options to pitch our topics, our ideas, if we want to actually, talk about specific thing, and you pitch the ideas. That's right.
Yes.
How was is it again? You mentioned that it was a bit stressful, but maybe you can recommend or suggest something for people, teacher, pitchers. Is it scary, hard, and just what to do?
Of course, it depends on the personality. But if you're a Scrum Master, you're probably not new to pitching ideas and present them in front of the people. So the preparation is the key. You need to think in advance about the topic you want to have, and if you can find the time and just prepare 2, 3 sentences, that would be enough for the start. And then if the audience would be interested, they will ask you questions and there will be conversations around it. Still, it's not that scary because it's just 1 minute and it's 1 minute, okay? It's not that hard like teaching for 15 minutes in front of the audience. It's not a TED talk, but it's easy in a way. And it would be scary, but please do this first step because there is a whole new journey after this.
And there will be definitely many supportive people.
Of course.
Yeah.
And
I'm then a bit curious because I think you mentioned that your topic or pitching idea was about retrospective. Is that right?
I do.
And usually, about retrospective, it's not something new. There are a lot of material you can read. You can even participate in the different conferences to see YouTube and so many things. So there's a lot of information already. Did you still had some new ideas or new things in this group?
Surprisingly, yes. And I was hoping for it because, yes, there are tons of information, but eventually they follow the same patterns, just providing you different forms of rephrasing the 3 main questions for the retro. And for me, it was always curious and I was passionate about it, finding the new angles. What are the other formats could be? I don't want to constantly rephrase the 3 standards patterns. I want to do something else. I want to have fun. And although I have some inventions of myself, it's always limiting you. And sharing and being able to share the ideas and exchange the experience of, have you tried this? Did it work well for you? What would you suggest? Like, what is the outcome of this format? It is valuable by itself, but answering the first question, did you get new ideas? Yes, I did, surprisingly. Although it was a small group, like 5, 6 people, we have found another ways of doing retros and other formats.
And that's actually what I noticed, that this year, as there was 2 tracks of workshops there, so the more people actually joined workshops and the less of us in the open space, but it's still, even those 5, 6 people, they shared their own, things which worked in their environments. They could provide more, why it worked, different things to try. So I totally, agree with you that, again, it's not a number. It's the knowledge which surrounds you. Yeah, and the quality.
It's not the number. It's a willingness to share and share the experience, basically, because you can read tons of books, but nothing can compare to the real experience of a real person. And being human, and this is where all the value comes from.
That's what that's why these or different type of conferences is really nice to attend, because there are like conferences where you just joining and seeing the slides, and then there's those open space where or workshop space and open space where you can gather and join the workshop. At the same time, you can just meet people, networking, and then express those topics which you would like to deep dive into, and you will definitely find the knowledge in here.
Yeah, and I would admit that this Agile Days is not like a regular conference where you attend and someone presents something to you, and the only opportunity to network and meet people is like coffee breaks or lunch. Here it's more flexible and it provides you and helps you to shape the ability to interact with the people in other directions.
Yeah.
And the organizers themselves, they engage these negotiations and these interactions between people. Even now it's happening, and I'm missing it. Don't tell anyone. But yeah, it's a huge distinction between a regular conference and an Agile Day Kaunas, and I've genuinely loved it because it's so much bigger than just a conference.
And I agree with you. And actually, I think we can end the talk about this for now, because maybe we'll have even separate topic for a proper podcast discussion. But now, as there are still things happening, I guess we can get back to the main group and still do a bit of networking.
Still enjoy.
So thank you, and
Thank you
have
so
a nice day,
much.
everyone.
Thank you so much.